GSC, the OG 54 and I out here seeing what we can do to get this new carburetor on. Kind of jumped the gun and started disassembling it before I took video, so I'll flip this around and see what we're actually working on today. My original truck project here, the 54 Chevy 3100 that's been in the family for 40 plus years. It's got a 60/327 in it. It's on an S10 chassis, and this is the first legitimate build my dad and I did. I never technically finished it. I just drive it and patina it once in a while. But this old quadrajet here is giving me a plethora of problems, and I've rebuilt it time and time again. You can see it's all dirty. We had a nasty ice storm last fall, and it blew a bunch of gunk into the underhood of this truck because I had it parked facing the west. So this carb was out of a 68 small block. We've rebuilt it. We've fiddled around with it time and time again, and it's never really been right. And it doesn't really matter how many times I try, this truck will not react well to this carb. So to replace it, I have bought an Edelbrock 1405. I know that a lot of people are complaining and giving me guff for going this route instead of just buying a Holly or going EFI. But for right now, what I'm trying to do is get the truck back to a summer driver status. So I figured get this handy dandy phenolic spacer, Edelbrock, and get this thing back on the road. So I've been working on with my widget here to clean off the old gasket and prep the surface. So I'm gonna go ahead and dust this off a little bit more and then get this phenolic spacer dropped on, and then prep myself to set the carb on and see how it all looks. As you can see, this was a front load for fuel. This is rear load. I've had to make some adjustments to my fuel lines here. I went from having hard line, made it into soft. I kept the gauge though, just for sanity's sake, so I can make sure that getting fuel pressure, or if it decides to go haywire and go over pressurized from the pump in the tank, I at least know what's going on. So I'm gonna clean this up, get the spacer on, and get ready to pop this carb on here. It is installed. Phenolic spacer, new studs. I need to make a mount to hold this where I want it, probably off on the valve cover bolts. But everything's installed. The other thing I need is a choke cable, and I need to do a little bit of work with the throttle, since this is a little bit different dimension than my quadrajet was, so I need to shorten my throttle cable about 3/4 of an inch. I've got the stops pulled forward on it, so everything's on. Vacuum lines are hooked up, fuel is hooked up, so I guess I'll grab some zip ties and get this up off the valve cover and out of the way where I'd hopefully like it to land, and I'll see if it'll start. I think it's time for new battery. It rolled over, it coughed, it tried to start, and the battery died again. So it's installed. I'll have to charge this thing up and try again. No ether involved. Look at that. No starting fluid. I'll have to adjust the carb, but that is awesome. Oh my God. That is awesome. Just crazy how smooth this is now with this new carb on it. My goodness. Doesn't even sound like the same truck. Sweet. One step closer.